Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night, and good day. Alright, this is Gregatron, and today I'm showing you all my Samuel L. Jackson collection. This is quite the assortment because he's in so many different things. He's played so many different roles over the years, all the way from when I was a little kid, and even before then, up until now. This guy has been my guy. So he actually is my favorite actor. That is a fact. This all started from Mace Windu and Star Wars. I thought he was just the coolest character. He was the only person with a purple lightsaber. And he was just real stoic and he was tough like a rock. He was super powerful, only second to Yoda. And the more I'm reading about him in this book, which I'll talk about in a second, the more I'm starting to like Mace. The more and more. Because it talks about how he was a top-notch athlete, and it talks about his friendship with Qui-Gon, and all these things. And it's great. So, I didn't put these in any particular order, but let's just go from left to right, I suppose. This poster of Mace, I'll sit down with you, came with the good book that I'll talk about in a minute. Look at that. Look at my boy. Yeah, I don't think there's anything on the back. Oh yeah, there is. That's right. It's a double-sided poster. That is some imagery. Come on. Let's grab the book. Put them side by side. The book is called Star Wars Mace Windu, The Glass Abyss. This book is about Qui-Gon Jinn, more so than Mace. So these two were friends, and after Qui-Gon dies in episode 1, he leaves Mace a message, and there's this mission he wants Mace to carry out because he knows he'll do it. Because basically Qui-Gon won a bet between the two friends, so Mace has to travel to this other planet and do some stuff. I'm like in chapter 4 or 5 or something. It's good so far. It's good. The actor is Stephen Barnes. Alright, let's move over to the anime. We got Afro Samurai. As you all know, if you don't know, where have you been? As most of you know, Samuel Jackson is the voice actor who plays both Afro and Ninja, which is his friend, aka a figure of his imagination. So he plays both characters, and it's great. 5-episode miniseries. You got the soundtrack thanks to the Wu-Tang Clan, the RZA, and he's also in the movie Afro Samurai Resurrection, which is pretty much part 2 to the series. And then the video game was on 360 and PlayStation 3. But the voice acting is all thanks to Samuel L. So this show also put me onto him even more. Yes, sir. Speaking of voice acting, let's jump over here for a second. The Boondocks, Samuel Jackson plays Jin Rummy. He's the white guy with the cornrows, and he's super gangster, and he talks a lot of shit, and he's super funny, real violent, and he and Charlie Murphy made the show that much more comedic with their conversations about Bluetooth And the iPhone, he's like, it's the iPhone. It's not the I Spy phone, Ed. There ain't no reason for that shit to look that high tech. Those conversations, just, they were really two peas in a pod. So Charlie Murphy and Samuel Jackson in that, you just had to have it. It was just so good. You just had to watch it to understand what I'm saying. All right. So that's the Boondocks. Let's come over here. We got Jules and Pulp Fiction. This is a Diamond Select figure. He's got the cup with the good Sprite in it, the tasty beverage. He's got the good burger that's got chomps taken out of it. He's got a Glock? Some type of pistol. They even gave him the good briefcase. So this is the epitome of Pulp Fiction right there. Boom. Speaking of Pulp Fiction, let's come down here a little bit. We got the Quentin Tarantino section. We got Pulp Fiction. I didn't watch this movie till I was like a teenager. Thank God. But I remember I was in high school in gym. I was a senior. And I had a friend who was a freshman. And we used to quote this movie in PE. But it sounded like we were like yelling at each other, but we weren't. So some of our other classmates were like, why are y'all yelling at each other like y'all are a bunch of... But they didn't know we were just playing. We were quoting Pulp Fiction. So you got that. You got Jackie Brown. That's a good one. Also Quentin Tarantino. This also, by the way, says 7 Academy Award nominations. He did feature in Kill Bill Volume 2. I knew he was in one of the Kill Bills. It was this one. He was the pianist. The guy playing the piano, right? Let's come down here for a second. The Hateful Eight. He's kind of the main character in that. This movie's a mystery, if you don't know. It's violent. It's got some good dialogue, as usual, because it's from Quentin. So it's entertaining all the way up until the end. So watch that. He's in most of the Marvel MCU movies. So I just put the Avengers in here to wrap up all of them. You don't need to see all of that. But just know he's in the MCU as Nick Fury. Look at him. Yeah. Okay. 1408. I'm going to turn this flash off. Maybe I should leave it on. So 1408, I saw that in theaters. That's a good movie. Samuel Jackson is like the hotel manager or something like that. Or was he the owner? I can't remember. But he worked for the hotel that this guy is, John Cusack, is doing his book writing in, because he's an author. Anyway, it's a really scary hotel. Come up here a little bit. You got the Die Hard collection. I only threw this in there because he's in Die Hard Part 3. That one's called Die Hard with a Vengeance. You can see him right there. Boom. So don't get it twisted. It's a Bruce Willis film. But you can't go wrong with having Sam. Sam got your back. This movie here is called Basic. I haven't seen this one yet, but I'm sure I'll watch it at some point. I'm assuming it's a basic training. You can pause that. Oh, it looks like John Travolta's in it too. Nice. Yeah, it is. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. The Arena. That's like a game movie. I think I did see this one. If I have, it's been a while. All right. s.w.a.t is kind of a classic. So s.w.a.t was on FX back in the day. FX has the movies A lot of good actors. Samuel Jackson, Colin Farrell, Michelle Rodriguez, and LL Cool J. And I think they made a TV show based off of this movie. Or maybe the movie's based off the show. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. That is this. And of course, Mace Windu was a big part in this book/movie. I'm not going to give it away, but what happens to Mace in that movie kind of is the turning point, I should say. So I'll leave it at that. Right. You got Juice. That's the one Dave Chappelle's talking about. Juice. That was a good one. This I got from Walmart, like for $5. All right. Changing Lanes. I think I saw this once or twice, but it's been a while. I definitely got to see it again. You got Ben Affleck, the good Samuel L., Coach Carter. This was also on FX. A lot of these movies growing up that I fell in love with was through FX or USA or what was the other one? AMC. There's some good channels. Comedy Central was another one. The Samaritan. I remember this being pretty good. Yeah, him trying to do the right thing. You can see he's getting a little older in age. Reasonable Doubt was pretty decent stuff. Man, this guy's in everything. Shaft. What? Shaft? I love Shaft, man. This was also on FX. Yeah. Who is the man who looks out for his brother, man? Shaft. You're damn right. Man, this is some good. This is from like '04. This is the first Shaft I saw. I didn't see the early Shaft until much, much later, but I thought this was the original Shaft. Well, then the third Shaft, they put him and the old Shaft together, and Samuel Jackson as his son. So there's like three of them, which that movie was all right, but this one's like way better. So this is the Shaft I grew up with. All right. Last but not least, well, it's not the last quite yet, but A Time to Kill. This is the movie when he says, yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. Good movie. Once again, Matthew McConaughey plays a lawyer type of figure or a prosecutor. And I think it's based on a true story. I guess something in the South happens to these two little girls, and I think they were Samuel Jackson's kids or something like that. And it was about race relations and all kind of stuff. And the guys who supposedly assaulted these girls, they were the ones on trial. And Samuel Jackson's like, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. And that's like one of those lines, you know. Now let me jump up here. Speaking of lines, we got the Snakes on a Plane box set. So you got that. You got Black Snake Moan, which is actually one of my favorites. It's got him in it, Christina Ricci, and Justin Timberlake. What? This is one of my favorite movies from him. My old coworker from like 10 or 12 years ago, he told me about this movie. And I'm like, that sounds weird. Black Snake Moan. What? But it's really good. Like, the friendship that these two develop is like priceless. It's beautiful. Just take my word for it. If there's any movie in this collection that I'm going to recommend Black Snake Moan. Snakes on a Plane. Speaking of snakes, you all know what that is. Another FX movie. The Negotiator, that's a pretty good one. I like the role Sam plays in because a lot of times, often it's a cop, but he also plays roles in different law enforcement groups. But he can also play like a brother from the South. Rules of Engagement. That's got him and Tommy Lee Jones. And again, he can play a military guy too. But Samuel L. Jackson always kind of played the guy who didn't take no stuff from anybody. I mean, look at him. He just looks like he doesn't take no stuff. Yeah. This I got from either a disc replay or a mega replay. Okay, I think that's all the movies. Last but not least, this sword is from Afro Samurai, which I talked about earlier, but I figured I'd throw it in there because it's Afro Samurai's sword and Samuel Jackson is the voice actor to Afro Samurai. So that's kind of cool. Okay, now seriously, last but not least, I threw this in there because Dave Chappelle's making fun of Samuel Jackson in the beginning of season 2. There it is right there. Boom. The third picture from the left. That's him as Samuel Jackson. If you haven't seen that skit, just type in on YouTube Samuel Jackson, Dave Chappelle, and you'll find it. It's kind of a running joke in my family. Back when me and my brother would go to the bars together and stuff, or different restaurants, we'd say to the waitress, I'll have a Samuel Jackson. And she's looking at us like, what? Samuel Jackson? What are you talking about? I was like, you guys don't have Samuel Jackson? And she's like, what? No, I don't think we have that. I said, oh, you guys should have it. So she's like, let me ask my manager. And then the manager's like, we don't have that. Then the waitress comes back and she's like, I'm sorry, guys. My manager said we don't have that. And we're just kind of laughing. We're like, you don't know what Samuel Jackson is? And she's like, he's an actor, right? And we're like, yeah, but you don't know what the beer is? No, we don't have it. So we let her off the hook and we're laughing and she's kind of relieved. So we're just like, just go home and watch Chappelle's show. Just go home and watch Chappelle's show. I don't know if they actually go home and watch it, but between that and the Boondocks and Afro Samurai, it's like there's nothing Samuel Jackson cannot do. He can do anything. He can be a good side character if you need him. He can be in a good cameo if you need him. Or he could be the main character. That's fine too. Make him the main character. And I like him too because he doesn't really care either way. If they ask him to do something for 10 minutes, he's like, all right. Or if they ask him to star in the movie, he's like, all right. But he keeps the same attitude in whatever he's doing. He just doesn't care either way. He's not looking for a Grammy. He's not looking for a nominee or anything. He just wants to do his thing. And I love that. And I think he donates a lot of money too. But he's been in like more movie nominees than any other actor. Something like that. Yeah, he ain't looking for no Oscar. But when you see an assortment like this, you gotta respect it. My favorite, that's a tough one. Maybe I'll say my favorite character. My favorite character is Mace Windu from Star Wars. His best role, probably Pulp Fiction, Jules. But my favorite, oh, did I say Coach Carter? Did I mention Coach Carter? My favorite. Either Black Snake Moan or Shaft. Or Pulp Fiction. I mean, Pulp Fiction is a classic. It went from being a cult classic to now it's just considered a classic. Because now more and more people are waking up to it. But yeah, I really like Shaft. I really like Pulp Fiction. Coach Carter. Black Snake Moan. And I like his voice acting. This guy played in Disney movies. What was it? The Incredibles and all kind of stuff. He was Frozone in that. But, and I like him in Nick Fury, you know. So, that was 20 minutes of Samuel L. Jackson talk. That's crazy. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite Samuel L. Jackson movie? Who's your favorite actor? Is it him? Is it Denzel Washington? Is it Will Smith? Is it Bruce Willis? Is it Stallone? Is it Tommy Lee Jones? Who is it? Whoever it is. Is it Ethan Hawke? Is it Lawrence Fishburne? Is it Clint Eastwood? Is it Leonardo DiCaprio? Whoever it is, let me know. And I hope to see you guys in the upcoming year, 2025. Happy New Year. And be good. Peace.